Yeah, please go ahead.
Thanks. Hi all, good morning. So let me just share my screen. Yeah, let me know once if it's visible. It's visible, right? Just raise a thumbs up so that I can just know. Okay. So before going into the developer instance, so you all have seen this particular screen over here. So you might face some issues like forgetting your password or like that. So here under your profile, you'll be having the manage instance password. So where you can actually copy this in a notepad or somewhere and just keep it. So whenever you don't have access, you can just go here, click on log.do. So whenever you click login.do, then you can directly paste the username and then the password. So this is the basic step which you need to know, because always you don't know what's the password or the username and password. So here under your profile, you'll be having the manage instance password where you can find your details. Is it clear up to now? So uh, just keep yes in the chat box so that I can just go ahead. Just type yes in the chat box. Yeah. So the next thing. So this is how our instance look, and where I'll be explaining how and what you will be having in this particular instance. So here you are seeing the application navigator, from where you'll be finding your applications, modules, and all. So the basic application we have is the user application. So whenever a service now, suppose let's take an example, like whenever we are developing something, then we are a user. So where we'll be having some roles and access. So the basic table which we have is user table. So under user administration, you'll be finding the users table, the groups, and then the roles. So these three are the main part of ServiceNow. So let's go into the users table. So these are the existing users which we have. And let's take an example, able tutor for an example. So if you just see here, it's just like a user record. So in an organization, so we'll have users in an organization. In the same way, in ServiceNow, we'll be having users. And for every user, they'll be having the roles, where you'll be providing the roles. And they'll be adding into the groups. So let's take for an example, in an organization, we are, suppose let's take an example, like we are in a company in which we are developers. So Manaswini is an user and she is a developer. The role which I'll be having is the developer role. In the same way, in ServiceNow, we'll be having a user and then the roles. So if you just click edit over here, then you'll be getting all the roles which are available in the system. And let me just open a notepad. So whenever we talk about roles, we have four main roles in ServiceNow. So the four main roles are admin, ITIL underscore admin, ITIL, and security underscore admin. These are the four main roles which are available in ServiceNow. So we'll be working around only these four roles in ITSM. specifically in ITSM. Okay, so coming to the admin role. So admin role is like, now we are having the admin role where we can actually create incidents, we can develop the uh, functionalities and everything in our instance. So that is where we call it as admin role. And coming to the ITIL admin. So under the roles, if you just go into the application called roles, if you just search for the ITIL, if you just see here, we found the ITIL and the ITIL admin. So the description itself describes us that ITIL admin will have the privilege to delete the incidents, problems, and other related entities. And coming to the ITIL, the basic role. So it can open, update, close the incident, problem, change, and out of box features. So if you just go here, ITIL admin and ITIL. So by the description, can you guess, is ITIL the higher, having the higher privilege, or the ITIL admin? Reply it in the chat box. Is the ITIL admin the highest or the ITIL? Only in these two, only ITIL and ITIL admin. Who is having the highest privilege? Yes, Siri. Can you mention why? Why?
Because it has more privileges than ITIL role.
What is the extra privilege which we have in the ITIL admin?
It can delete incidents, problems, changes, and other
Yes,
related entities.
exactly. You're right. So ITIL admin is having the highest privilege than ITIL. Okay, now let's see the admin. So what admin can do? So this is our role, and so the system admin role is like, it is having the privilege where it is like, regardless of anything, if you just see here, regardless of security constraints, it can grant this privilege carefully. So we, as mentioned, we also have the security admin. So what security admin can do is, it can grant the security access. It means like, it can actually give the privilege to the users to see records based on the roles, and it gives the privilege to the users to view only some part of table or the modules or like that. So from these four, can anyone tell the order of the privilege? I mean the high to low privilege. Can you mention? So what is the highest role, and then in the decreasing order? You can unmute and tell, or you can type the message in chat box. The order of the roles.
Yeah, there is no wrong answer. Yeah, just unmute and tell it. What
Yeah,
you know.
it's a
Um,
discussion and interactive session.
I guess security admin has the more roles, and then admin, then ITL admin, then ITL.
Yes, you're right. You're right. So that's right. And the first, the security admin, because he can actually hide the data from the users based on the roles. And then the admin, where he can accept the security access, he can do other related work. And then the ITIL admin, he can delete the records. And then the ITIL, he can open and close the incidents. And they also mention, so specifically ITIL is for the ITSM. So coming to ITSM, so what are all the modules which we have in the ITSM? Can anyone mention them? Because it was the in the first session we have discussed, right? What is ITSM and what are the modules involved in this?
And the hint is you guys also have created fields on those specific forms.
Yeah, incident.
Incident.
Yeah, and
Incident.
Change management.
you're right. Next.
And problem.
Yes. So these are the three main modules in ITSM, and we also have the other modules like knowledge management and then the service catalogs, which we'll be seeing in the next sessions. So up to now, the user creation. So in the users table, if you just go and click new, then you can actually create the new user, and then you can give the uh, roles. Roles is like giving the privilege to them, the access to them. So we have 481 roles, which are out of box roles in ServiceNow, where according to the access, you can give them the roles. And then the thing is groups. So groups are like in an organization will be seeing the hardware group or the software group, where hardware group will be looking into all the issues related to hardware, and coming to the software group, they'll be looking into the issues which are related to software. In the same way, so in ServiceNow we'll be having different groups. So out of box we have 46 groups over here, where each group will be having, let's take a change management group. So in the change management group, we'll be having specified members. Like these two members will be looking into the issues which are related to change management. And according to that, they'll be having the role or the access. So you can also create the new group by clicking new, where let's take ServiceNow training. And once if I save the group, then in the related tabs, I'll be getting the roles, where by clicking edit, I can give the roles. And here also I can edit the members. So let's take able tutor, and these four will be in the ServiceNow training group. Let me just show. Suppose let's take Adela. If you just see here, she is having 7 roles. Okay. Now what am I doing is in my role, yeah. Here I'll be providing a role to the group. Let's take ITIL role, and now I'll say. So can anyone guess, will this role be applicable to all the 4 users, or will it not be applicable? So can anyone guess this?
If it is group access, it will applicable for the all users.
Mhm. So if I can go to this particular Abraham Lincoln, and if I go and add from here, so will this be feasible, or by creating a group and giving the role to them is feasible? Like, what is the best way to do?
Giving to the group is
Yeah, you're right. That's right. So whenever, if someone in your requirements, they'll be specifying that, okay, give Abraham Lincoln a role. You should not give a role directly to the user. You should always create a group and provide a role from here. That is the best practice. And you can add the members over here. So suppose if they specify provide ITIL role, you have to create a group and add that member to the group, and automatically the role will be inherited to that user. So this is the best practice, and remember this. So
Yeah.
whenever anyone asks you to create a role or give a role, you have to create a group. Okay.
This is important interview question, and also mostly whenever you have a user stories in your company. So mostly you will have to create a group. Then they will ask you to provide a role to the group. So they will ask you to, and they will ask you to add few more users to the group. So to do all these tasks, so don't directly assign role to the user. Instead, assign it to the group. So that is one of the best practice, and it's
So
widely
this is
used. So yeah, you can make a note of it separately on your, if you have any notes or something taking.
so now this is all about the users, groups, and roles. So as an admin, I can actually check the access of the user. So how I can do that? So I can't just go and check. So instead, ServiceNow is providing us impersonation, which is a great and best functionality which is being provided by ServiceNow. So once if you click impersonate user, so I gave the Abraham Lincoln the ITIL role. So what does ITIL role have, and what is the privilege that ITIL role is having? They can actually view the incidents. So incident, if I just type, so the incident module is visible, and then the change module, the application change is visible, and then the problem and the problem application is visible. So now I am Abraham Lincoln, where I can just check is the role working for him or not. So this is the best functionality which is provided by the service, which is called impersonation, where you can actually pretend to be like that user and check his access and privileges. Is that clear? And once if you end the impersonation, you'll again be as a system admin. Is that clear to all?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Moving on, now let's go to the ITSM topics, which is incident. The first application is incident. So whatever we'll be discussing in incident, that applies same to the problem change, where only the definitions are different, but the functionality, I mean the creating the fields, configuring the form, and everything will be same for incident, problem, and change. Now if I explain you on the incident, you need to try it on problem and change. Okay, only the functionality or the flow is being changed, that's it. Okay, let me just show. So this is a basic incident form. In your assignment also, I hope you have the details to be mentioned, right? What is number, what is scholar, so you can actually go through them. And let me just fill this form and explain you. So now this is an incident form. So there will be a requirement like create a new field on the form, or they might ask you to add a new category and related subcategory to them. So if you just see here, there is some dependency. If I just click software, in the subcategory, I'm seeing email and operating system. And if I click hardware, the options was changed like CPU, desk, and keyboard. So there is some relation between category and subcategory. So like that, you need to just go and look into each and every field. If I just click impact as 2 and the urgency as 3, then the priority is being changed. And if I select impact as 1 and then the urgency as 1, then the priority got changed. So like that, you need to just go through every field details which are provided in the ServiceNow documents, and you need to go through everything. So now let's discuss how do you actually configure the form fields. So in ServiceNow, we have 3 ways to configure the form. So these are the ways to create, I mean, to create the field or to modify the field or anything. You can choose the form builder or form design or form layout. It's your feasibility. So let's take form design. So in your assignment, there was a task like to create a new field which is of string. I mean, like date of birth. Okay. So how the date of birth will be in our general way. So how do you actually fill the forms? Can anyone unmute and tell? So how the data that will be?
Date, month, year.
Yeah, so date, month, year. So in the field types, if you just go and check all the field types, you will be having date and time. So you'll be just dragging it and dropping over the form. Now the field is ready. You need to name that. So the label which you give us, suppose let's take date of birth, and name is like the backend name. So for every field, you'll be having the label and the backend name. So the backend name is like for the database of ServiceNow. Okay, it is like a backend name. So if you just take incident, the backend name will be different. So like that, you need to just give the backend name. So you underscore is like it's a custom field. So whenever you're creating a custom field, it's a best practice to keep you underscore. So you underscore date of birth, and then if I just save it, now if I just go in the context menu, you'll be having the reload form where you can reload the form. And then here is our date of birth where you can actually select the date and the time. So the form design here, if you see, these are the fields, are the existing fields on the in the incident table, and the field types. If you want to create any new field, you'll be dragging it and dropping over here. So the main important fields are like choice field, excuse me, the choice field, and then the string field, the reference field. So if you just click on the settings, the symbol, you can just see what is the type. Okay, it's a reference. So what does reference mean? It is getting the data from the other table. So in the caller, if you just click on this, in the URL, you can just see it's getting the details of the user table. So whenever you want to find the table name, you can just find in your URL, which is sys underscore user. It is getting all the details of the user. So reference is always referring the other table. And if you just see configuration item, it's again a reference field. It's getting the details of cmdb underscore ci, which is a configuration table referring the other table. So like that, you will be having all the field types. I request you all to go through each and every field type, try dragging it and dropping over the form and see how is it working. Okay. And then if I want to add any field, any category in the existing one, then I'll be just clicking on the settings symbol, and where I can just go here and integration. Let's take an example, integration. So the backend name is auto populated, and then if I just save and then go to the incident and reload the form, if you just see a integration, but we don't have any related subcategory. So you can just go here, and if you just see here, it's saying that it is dependent on category. So we need to go to this here. By clicking the right click on that, we'll be having configure dictionary. So on clicking on this, configure dictionary is where it goes to the dictionary entries. The same, the backend, it just goes to the backend where you can just go and add the dependent values. I'll just go down. It's loading. So under the choices, let me know if you have any queries. I know it's a little bit tough to understand in the first class, but I'm explaining you in every detail of this. So under integration, let's take Jira. And let me give the backend name. And here it is depending on the integration. Integration is the category field. So category, whenever my category is integration, then Jira should be my subcategory. So this is how you'll be entering into the dictionary. So now if I just go to the incident, I'll do this. If I select integration, then Jira is my dependent value. So like that, you can, in the dictionary entries also, you can add the choices where you'll be providing the dependent value and then the label, the backend name. Am I clear up to this?
Yes.
Any questions? So now you are good to create a field in a form. So any form, it's the same process. You'll be clicking on this hamburger icon, configure. You have three ways to create: form builder, form design, or form layout. Or you can also click on the right click and configure dictionary. Whenever you click on configure dictionary, you can just go, and this is how the form looks like and where you'll be creating. That's it. It's the same process for all the forms.
We have a question. Why you have three options? Like, how do you choose which one is the right one?
It depends on the feasibility. So form design, it takes to your another tab. Then form layout, if I just show you that as well, it redirects in the same page where it shows the available fields over here, and you can drag and drop over here. I mean, like, you'll be selecting that and moving it over here. And to create a new field, you have an option to do this. And the type, it's the same. So in the form design, it takes into the next tab. In the form layout, it is like in the same form. And then you have the form builder, which is new in the Washington. So form builder, it's anything. You can actually choose any one of them. It's our feasibility and it's our way of choosing. That's it.
Thank
So
you.
form builder is little bit I mean, like, it is like you need to just move around all the fields and everything. So you need to add a field, you'll be clicking over here. And if you want to uh, get this field, you can just drag and drop. And like that, you can actually preview also. The form builder is another type. That's it. It's just the UI page change, but everything, the functionality, everything is same. Am I clear?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. And now, so here, if you just see here, under this, we are having notes, related records, and the resolution information. These three are, we call them as related lists. So related records is where you'll be having the records which are related to this incident, the problem record. So you can add a problem record over here. So if I just add the problem record, I can just add the parent incident. So like this. And then the change request caused by change. So here we are actually giving the information related to the incident. So we call it as related lists. And here we have the links, which we call them as related links. And the task SLA, affected CIs, and these four, we call them as related tabs. So these are very important. So the very important question in the interview, what are related tabs? What are related links? What are related lists? Related tabs, related links, related lists. Related tabs, which we see here, like task SLA, impacted services, which are related to that particular incident. That's it. Related lists are like the list of records. List of records which are related to that particular record. So here we are with incident. So the related records of incident. Related links. So the links, if you just see here, when I click on this, it's like a link URL. So if I click that, then it just goes to that. So these are the three which are very important definitions you need to know. So this is all about the form. And now if you just see, we are in the list page of incident. So this is the form view and this is the list view. Can anyone mention what is the difference between the list view and the form view? I expect three main differences from you all. So in the chat box, or you can unmute and answer. The three differences between
We
the list.
have the modify the incident. I think we have edit options for the list.
Can you repeat again? I didn't get you.
For the list view, we may have the edit options.
Anyone?
We are having the option of search in the list view. It is like that we have to fill it and all.
Okay. Ruchita, Dinesh, Satvik, Hari Krishna. Kedar. Yeah, list view is a dashboard showcasing the list of all raised incident. Form view displays the incident details. Okay. So let
In
me
form,
explain.
you can like create and submit, but in list, it's just listing the items.
Yeah. So how we can actually define this is, so if you just see here the list of records where you can actually see all the incidents with their details, means it is in the form of row and column. So rows are this which say tells about each incident, and the columns, if you just see, the columns are like it is defining the details. So suppose let's take the incident 001. The number is this, what is the short description? So it is like test, and which was raised by Abel, and the priority is 5. So like that, list is like row and column wise. And coming to the form, it is the details of only one record. The list has the multiple records, and then the form is having only one record and its details. So here you also have a down arrow where you can go to the next incident, the very next incident of that. So this particular functionality is also there where you can just go around all the incidents. So list and form, the main difference, it stores all the records. It is telling the details only about one particular incident. Is that clear? Am I
Yes.
clear? Yeah, thank you. Now, so whenever we will be having the requirements, like, can you just list out the incidents where the state is new? So you need to actually figure it out where the state is new. So now here we have the state new. So how do you actually filter them? So the first option is where you'll be clicking on show matching. So from where you can actually see the records. So we have like 14 records in which the state is new. So this is one of the way where you can actually search, and the other way is click on the funnel icon. It is a time taking process, so where you'll be providing the state is new, and then you'll be clicking on run. So once if you click on run, it shows only the incidents where the state is new. On top of it, if I want to search, I want the incidents where my category is inquiry and help. So and is like this particular statement should be true and this particular statement should be true. So like that you'll be executing. Then you'll be getting the records where the state is new as well as the category is inquiry and help. So this is, if you just click on that, it removes the condition. If I click on that, it removes whole condition. So if I just click, that particular condition was removed. If I just click on this particular condition gets removed. And you also have the other option, which is filter out. So what does filter out do is, it's just the opposite of show matching. I don't want to see the records where the state is new. Then I'll be filter out the records. Then I'll be getting only the records where the state is not new. If you just see, the state is not new or the state is none, then I'll be getting all the records. So this is the easiest way where you can actually filter the records. Am I clear up to this? By any condition you can just do. This is one option and this is the other two options. Am I clear?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is all about the incident, and now I'll explain you how the incident flow works, and I want you all to do work on the problem and change. So we'll be having, so let me just explain what is incident. So can anyone mention what is incident, because in your assignment you wrote it, right? So what is incident? Yeah, you can unmute and explain what is incident.
So incident is an unplanned problem or issue
Mhm.
for the
Okay.
application.
Yeah. Next, I want everyone to unmute and answer because it's an interactive session. You need to gain the knowledge. Only when we discuss, you can actually gain the knowledge, right? So please unmute and let me know. Let's make it an interactive session so it will be easy to you and me. So what is incident?
Uh, Incident generally, I mean, it refers to a ticket or incident or a record.
Mm-hmm. What does that do?
So, which
Why
like,
incident?
mm, so if we have any issue or
Yeah,
if we
you're right.
have any something is not working or an issue, then we'll raise a ticket or an incident.
Yes,
So that,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, you're right. So incident is like an, an issue, or we can say it as a known issue. Okay. So where we'll be having the solution for this. Okay. So incident is a, like a disruption or some disruption which has been occurred, which is occurred. Okay, for the, suppose let's say Bhavyesh is facing a laptop issue, so we'll be having solution for that. So like that, it's a incident is like a issue or the disruption which has occurred. And coming to the problem, so problem is where unknown issue, we call it as unknown issue, where we need to find the root cause of it. Root cause of it. Because let's take an example where we are working under one organization, and we are facing suddenly an network issue where it is being an issue for everyone, each and everyone in that particular organization. Then we need to find an issue, like the root cause of it, why it is happening, why is it happening to all. Okay, where you'll be finding the root cause of it, it comes under problem. So instead of raising many incidents, so suppose let's say each and every person in an organization, if they raise incidents, it becomes again a lot many incidents with the same solution. So instead of that, what we'll be doing, we'll be raising one problem where we'll be finding the root cause of it, and we'll be solving it. And then we have the change management. So what does this change management do is, so it's like, suppose in an organization or in an infrastructure level, we have uh, email issue. Let's take an example like email issue or ServiceNow instance upgrade, like that. So when we should work on this particular change. So whenever we are having any production deployment or anything, so when we'll be doing them, we'll be taking the downtime, and then we'll be executing it. Okay, so whenever when everyone are using the same application, and then if you just stop the service, then what it happens, everyone will be raising the issues. So the change management is like, it will be having a meeting, a scheduled time where no one are using, or we call it as downtime. Okay, at that particular time we'll scheduling that particular change, and we'll be doing that change in the instance or in an organization or in an infrastructure. So this is called as change management. Okay. And I want you all to go through the definitions of incident, problem, change, and I'll be explaining how incident works. In the same way, I want you all to uh, write or read, go through the flow of problem and change. So now let's see the incident. So whenever I create an incident, it will be in the state called new. Now, if I assign it to anyone, so suppose let's say I'm assigning this to the able tutor, and then I'll be saving this. If you just see here, the state was moved to in progress. So the this particular David has raised the incident, and now able has started working on this particular incident. So in progress defines like the process, the work on this particular issue has been started. And then if able is having some information which is needed from the caller, then he'll be keeping the state to on hold, where he'll be specifying the reason. So I'm awaiting for the caller. So why am I awaiting? I need to mention, right? So, dear caller, I need some information regarding the issue. So where you'll be specifying it, and then just times, and then you'll be saving this. So then the caller will know that and he'll be responding over it. So after he responding, you'll again make it to in progress, and then you'll be working on this particular issue, and after working on it, you'll make this particular state to resolve because the issue got resolved. So you need to provide the resolution information, like it's a known error, and where you can provide the information regarding the issue. So you'll be providing that and then saving. So from your side, from the developer point of time, means the able tutor has resolved the issue. Now it's the caller where he need to go through this particular issue, and he need to check the resolution information and notes, and if he is satisfied, then he'll be closing the incident. So the main interview question over here is, what is the difference between the state resolved and state closed in incident? Now, as per my discussion, I explained you what is resolved and what is closed. So can anyone mention, tell me the difference between resolved and closed in incident? Difference between resolved and closed.
So resolve is something assigned user can fix or can work on it, and he thought that solved the problem. And
Yes.
the closed means end user, so who has the problem, they can verify, validate, and then close the ticket.
Yes, you're right. That's right. So this is very important interview question where they'll be asking you to explain whole life cycle of incident. So from new, you need to explain each and every state. So at any point of time, the assigned, I mean the able tutor can cancel the incident, because if there is no issue and if it's working fine, he can also cancel, and the caller from his side also, he can cancel the incident by providing the issue. I mean, like the issue was resolved, or the issue, thanks for, again he got some other solution for that, then he'll be canceling his request. So this is very important. Even for the problem change, you will be having the document, right? So for the next session, you can just explain me how the problem works. So if you just go, you have these states. I want you all to go through what each state does and the flow of this. In the same way, we'll be having the change, for the change. So let's just post the questions in the group. In this group. So the first question is life cycle of incident, and the second question, life cycle of problem, and types of changes in ServiceNow, and same life cycle of management. For the next session, I want you all to work on these four and explain me them. Okay.
Yeah, and these four are like really important questions during your interviews. So if you see any job description which has ITSM roles, they will ask you these questions. What is normal change? What is standard change? What is the life cycle of incident? What is the life cycle of problem? So for any kind of ITSM roles, which are like super high currently in the market, are going to ask these life cycles and the fields, about those fields and dependencies and all those things. So yeah, if you have any questions, you can always post in the group or chat. So yeah, and try to prepare for the next session. And mostly it's going to be on Wednesday or Thursday. a 1 hour session to complete this life cycles, and we are going to have weekend session for 2 hours to go over few more new topics.
So any questions?
Yeah, till now.
Once,
Yeah, Chandana, go ahead.
can you explain about change once again? I didn't get.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. So change management is like, suppose let's consider an example of uh, an organization who are going to, they are going to deploy something in the production. Okay, if
Maybe one second, Masuni. Maybe this could be a little bit high level for them to understand that. So just share your screen and show me that text document. I will explain it on a high view, like high,
yeah,
top level view. So basically, consider you have your website and that's your company, and you have an issue with logging into your account, like a Gmail, for example, it's a Gmail. So you are getting an issue called wrong password reset or wrong password or something like that. And what you usually do is you create an incident for that first. And after creating incident, if tech support guy understood that, oh, this issue is happening for so many users in the organization, there is a backend issue with uh, the code which is designed for this user login and password. So how they can understand that issue is, they most of the people like you, me, and other people, they will also log their incidents. So combining all those incidents, they will create problem. And in that problem, they will try to find what is the root cause for it. And they will understand that, okay, there is an issue with the code where it is not accepting capital letter or small letter or something like that. And it is throwing an error for all the logged in users or all the users. So what I do is I create a change management. What I do is I'll try to create a change management. I'll set some downtime and I will try to work on it. I'll try to fix that issue. I'll try to fix that code, and I will try to push that code to production using the change management downtime. During that downtime, I'll fix all those issues, and once the change is closed, I will notify all the users to validate whether their user password and these things are working or not, whether they are able to log in or not. So once they go back and they check it, once it is working, then they will close their own incident, and hence this complete process is closed. And the process which they took to resolve all these steps, they will store it in some kind of document. That document is nothing but knowledge management document.
yeah, as we have discussed the other uh, module in ITS, which is knowledge
Yeah,
management.
so this is completely service how you can manage services in IT. That's how ITSM works. So hope you everyone got the complete understanding on ITSM. Yeah, give me a like if you have
Yeah.
understand, or if you have any other questions and this analogy of how it works. Yeah, I can only see one like. Any others? Yeah, Kedar, what's your question?
So basically, change management boils down to grouping down all the incidents and updating the assigned to name to a different person. Would
No,
that
no,
be? No?
no. Change is nothing but fixing things. It is used to resolve things. So change management has three types: normal change, emergency change, and standard change. So changing something or fixing something in your organization is what change managing management does.
Can I add something on that, Avi?
Yeah.
So okay, that so usually, for example, if you have Gmail account or something, right? While resetting password or creating account, it says your password should be 12 characters, right? You all see that. So in organization, we decided, okay, we want to change that to 12 to 16 or 12 to 14 characters password should be. That's called change, right?
Yes.
So in organization level, in order to do that, so we can create a change ticket or change in the change management, we can create incident ticket. Then we can take downtime or fix the downtime and change that. So simple change. Okay, anything in the change in the production environment, we call change management.
Kind of like a user story.
Yeah,
That is
whatever
a
you can,
little bit different, but kind of Yeah,
kind of.
to get all the approvals, to know that everyone, to make sure everyone are on sync, that they are doing this change in the production and all those things, to get to everyone idea of what we are doing.
Okay, understood.
Yeah, any questions?
Ruchita, any
So
questions?
I hope
Ruchita,
the assignment.
Siri.
No, I'm good. Yeah.
Okay, Satvik, I think you are new to this IT
Yeah,
thing, but yeah, if you are
but I'm
understanding,
good. Yeah, it's understanding. It's good.
okay, yeah, sure. Let's see if you guys have any questions in the assignments. I think Kedar, you had some question in the assignment, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, people who have questions on their assignments can stay on the call. If you don't have any doubts, feel free to drop, but it's better if you stay so that you can understand what kind of doubts others are getting, so that you can understand how we can resolve it.